President Trump fires Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, and who will be next? It was recently reported that President Donald Trump announced on Twitter Monday that he had fired Defense Secretary Mark Esper and Christopher Miller, who served as the director of the National Counterterrorism Center. News released by CNN on Monday, November 9, 2020. So after the rumors that Trump wants to fire the Secretary of Defense now come true, Reuters previously reported that a source familiar with the August 12 internal debate said U.S. President Donald Trump had discussed privately with his advisors about the possibility of replacing Defense Secretary Mark Esper after the election president next November, after there was some disagreement between the two sides. Also know that Mr. Esper, who served as Secretary of the United States Army, was respected by both Republicans and Democrats as a powerful antagonist during a period of volatile government. Saw Mr. Trump repeatedly dragging the military into controversial domestic political issues, including the border wall issue with Mexico. However, Mr. Trump was annoyed by Secretary Esper's protests to invoke the Anti-Rebellion Act to deploy forces in active service to quell the unrest that erupted in June, following the death of colored man George Floyd. In addition, Mr. Esper publicly showed the rift with Mr. Trump in July when issuing a directive that was in fact a ban on the flagging of the American Civil War Confederation flag at military facilities. At a time when Mr. Trump invoked freedom of expression to defend the flagged Americans. So Trump fired Mr. Esper, not a surprise, because perhaps that was in Trump's plan for a long time. Several senior defense officials say Esper's increasingly strained relationship with Trump prompted him to prepare a resignation letter weeks ago, an attempt to create a fitting exit in the case that the president intends to fire him. Mr. Esper's sacking has raised concerns that other top national security officials also likely fired, to Trump's current wrath. Also news is Trump and some of his conservative allies have become increasingly frustrated with CIA Director Gina Haspel in recent weeks, accusing her of delaying the release of documents they believe would expose so-called deep state plots against Trump's campaign and transition during the Obama administration, according to multiple current and former officials. Haspel has refused, arguing that declassifying the documents would endanger U.S. national security by revealing crucial methods and sources. The same is true of FBI Director Christopher Wray. In recent months, Trump and his allies have also harshly criticized FBI Director Christopher Wray for not giving out information they think would be harmful to the president's political enemies, including Biden. The prospect of Trump being able to fire Wray has been chasing the FBI for weeks, CNN added. According to CNN's disclosure, Esper responded to Trump in a letter dated Monday, which said, "I serve the country in deference to the Constitution, so I accept your decision to replace me."